Brighton. Oh, and it's an own goal. Oh, it's crazy. Darren Bent.
Could Carson come free? Starts to. I think that's a ball he can get. That's inside the 6-yard box. When it comes off bed, he just leaves it for Darren Bent. Darren Bent made a good run to get back onto the post, and then just wafts his left foot at it. That's a really poor bit of play from the striker.
Well, we've talked about his run of FA Cup goals. This is one that he doesn't want. Brighton's shouting keeper and dealing with it. Hughes able to loft it back in again, and it's glanced in, and straight away Derby have bounced back, and Darren Bent has got a goal at both ends.
Not enough power from Schmeichel with the first punch, Hughes with the ball into the box, but he's still got a lot of work to do. So it just skipped off the surface. They've all come up, and nobody on the post now. They're trying to play offside, get tighter to their markers. What a good header from Darren Bent.
From despair to delight. There's a storming run here, and it's a beautifully taken goal by the midfield player Craig Bryson.
He just wins the challenge the first time, then wins it the second time here. Goes past King far too easily. Morgan can't get there. Doesn't get a slide in. It's far too easy for Bryson. Two midfield players, King and Drinkwater, should do better. And by the time he realised he might need to slide Morgan, it's a bit too late, and it's a really good finish. You also have to question, Schmeichel showed a lot of that far post to Bryson. Looked as though it went in far too easily.
Going up for Huth. Keogh gets there. Chilwell. Drinkwater. Good angle this for Brighton. Pushed out by Carson. Gray. Well, when he made contact with a lot of the goal to see.
Well, it was the right cross from Brighton to start with, puts it into that dangerous area. He's just really unlucky. Could say that he should pick his spot. He just makes good connection with it.
Here comes Okazaki. Right start to the second half, this from Leicester City. King, Vardy. Gray again, tries to place it, hits the post. Okazaki. No. Extraordinary.
Just reverse the ball back. Gray with a clever, or what looked like a clever finish. There's the first block. And the second one goes straight at the goalkeeper. Johnson it is with the first block. And he's getting a bit of luck at the moment. Carson could go anywhere.
Get on the end of this delivery from Demarai Gray. And they have done. Where's Morgan? It is 2-2.
And he comes from the far post. On that occasion, Keogh is marking on the wrong side of him. He's got to be in front of Morgan. It's too easy for Morgan. Look at the 6 marking Morgan. There's actually a little shirt tuck there, but he's marking on the wrong side. He can never be first to the ball from the position that he's taken up against the Leicester centre-back. And there's the little feet. Actually comes off Keogh as well.
Can be nippy. Can be very nippy. Shouts for handball. That would have been the most immediate of impacts.
Well, it certainly hits the defender on the arm. Well, it's going towards that far post. I don't know that Huth knows too much about it, but the ball travels a little bit further. I think he'd be very unlucky if handball was given for that.
And Wolves looking to capitalise here. Costa with the free kick, and that's a free header, and what a start for Wolves! Richard Sturman in the opening minute, and the old gold is gleaming at Anfield.
Well, if Liverpool have got Achilles heel this season, Nigel, it's from set plays. I talked about the delivery, You got to see it's a fantastic ball in from Costa, his left foot, in towards that far post. Where was the mark? And that's what Jurgen Klopp will be looking at. Is he offside? There is a hit. He's just ahead of the last defender. You see the assistant looking right across the line. But what a very good header it was from Stearman. Could the goalkeeper come out there? He's in a good area for him to come and attack it. Carriage decided to stay, and Stearman just got his head on it, angled it across the goalkeeper into the far corner, and a perfect start for Wolves, who took a 1-0 advantage against Liverpool. There's the delight on the face of Paul Lambert. Just what he would have liked here at Anfield. A great start to the match for them.
Well, Paul Lambert enjoyed. Ronaldo picking out Origi, and now Firmino. But it's so tight in there. Ajaria slips, and Wolves can clear, and Wolves can break with Costa. Dicko on one side, he's got Weimann to his left, and here is Andy Weimann. What an opportunity! 2-0 to Wolves! Andy Weimann scores at Anfield yet again, and Liverpool are in all sorts of trouble.
Well, Nigel, this is all about Helder Costa once again. The awareness that he's got and the time that he takes in possession. Well, you think for 1 minute the chance had gone, that there was going to be a challenge coming in from Moreno, but he gets by that challenge, and this comes from Liverpool overplaying. Look at the numbers that Wolves have got back there. Now they're on the break. They've changed defence into the attack so quickly. Watch Moreno coming back with Helder Costa. There's a challenge coming in, and you think the chance maybe have gone. What a lovely ball to pick out Weimann, who comes past Karius. Nothing the goalkeeper could do about it. He's coming flying out with goals so quickly. But for me, it's all about the pace of the ball, the touch from Weimann, and he's got the simple task of just side foot into the back of the net. Would you say it's against the run of play? The 2-0 up, certainly in the last 15 minutes or so. It's been Liverpool who had much more possession of the ball, but they've looked a real danger on the counter-attack. The reaction of Paul Lambert as his side go 2-0 up.
Well, a classic breakaway goal, and Andy Weimann, who scored twice here for Aston Villa, for Paul Lambert in the Premier.
There's not much height in there, so you've got to try and whip it in with a bit of pace, and that's what young Woodburn tried to do there, but just hit the first man once again.
Coutinho with the corner, and it's nodded away as far as Sturridge. Here's the opportunity, and Origi has given Liverpool some hope.
Well, it's a lifeline, simple as that. It's the first time Wolves haven't really defended a set play particularly well, and all of a sudden the crowd here at Anfield have come alive. There's a bit of belief they can get something from it. There's the ball delivered in from Coutinho, and there's the header coming in from Sturridge across the face of the goal. No one picking up Origi at the far post. They're all being attracted to the ball, the Wolves players, and they had the simple task of volleying it into the net to bring Liverpool back into it. A little bit of good fortune, there wasn't there.
Less than 6 years ago, this was a Premier League derby. Nowadays, Rovers are second from bottom in the Championship, while Blackpool are in League Two. It took the hosts just 9 minutes to go in front. Southampton loanee Sam Gallagher scored plenty in the first half of the season, but the 10th goal of his campaign was also his first of 2017. The lead was doubled by the halfway point of the first 45, and in some style too. A 1-2 and a super shot. That was Elliot Bennett's first goal of the season, and clearly one to remember. Blackpool saw off Championship Barnsley after a replay in round 3, but they were clearly struggling here. The ambitious Jack Payne trying a long-ranger of his own, but without the glorious results we'd seen from Bennett a moment earlier. Soon after, a better opening, and from rather closer range, Jim McAllister with a glancing header that might have turned the tie back into a contest. Tangerine's boss, Gary Bowyer, was in charge at Blackburn until just over a year ago. His current challenges had no answer after the break, and their problems deepened when Kelvin Mellor saw red for a second caution. His first was for a blatantly reckless lunge, and his next challenge may have won the ball, but it was still, at best, a risky choice given what had just happened. 2 yellows equaling red, and with that, Blackpool's chances of a famous fight back were gone. A man up for the final quarter. Blackburn came close to extending their already commanding lead. A great ball from Danny Graham released Bennett. He found Gallagher. Only a combination of post and keeper kept the score down to 2. The guests, meanwhile, fashioned one further chance themselves before time was called, and it was a good one. Clark Robinson's perfect cross begging to be buried. Will Aimson so nearly obliged. This was the third meeting of these two in the Cup, The previous pair also came in round 4, and Rovers prevailed in both of those ties too. 2-0 the final score this time around. Would provide a welcome distraction from a run of 8 consecutive league defeats as they travelled to Burnley. But the hosts, who were looking to book their place in the 5th round for the first time since 2011, started like they meant business. Johan Berg Gudmundsson's header, a signal of intent. Both teams rested key players, and it was City's Milan Djuric hoping to make the most of a rare start early on. The Bosnian's header parried to safety by Nick Pope in the Burnley goal. Stephen Defoe was a record signing when he arrived at Turf Moor in the summer, and the Belgian international was a class apart in this tie. Luck was also on his side as he broke into the box, but his pass to Sam Vokes was perfect, and the Welshman duly put the hosts in front. City are a side lacking in confidence, and it showed as Aidan Flint's wayward back pass almost caught out keeper Fabian Giefer. Defoe was running the show, and it wasn't long before he was setting his own sights on goal. This initial sighter, a warning sign for the guests. The Clarets doubled their lead shortly after the hour mark. Defoe was instrumental from start to finish in a counter-attack that was as rapid as its conclusion was sublime. A moment of magic worthy of winning any game. Put this tie to bed. And it really should have been 3-0 10 minutes later. Defoe's free kick found Vokes in space, but thanks to the upright, the striker was left wondering how he hadn't doubled his tally. The Robins showed little sign of being able to get back into the game. Flint's header wide was as close as they came, as Burnley, courtesy of their Belgian maestro, progressed.
Chelsea have started this pretty strongly. Free kick in an appealing position, really, for either Willian or Fabregas. It's going to be Willian, and that's a beauty. Gave Daniel Bentley precious little chance in the Brentford goal. Trajectory just about perfect, and with bags of pace on it too. There was no stopping that. That's Piliqueta. Here's Willian. Batshuayi. And it comes for Pedro, and that's 2. Economically put away by the Spaniard. Moot point as to whether Batshuayi was actually trying to play in Loftus-Cheek, but it worked ideally for Pedro. And even though the ball for a second was stuck beneath his feet, he managed to guide it in. Terry. And Batshuayi! Now, did that cross the line? Chelsea making the appeal, not particularly forcefully. And Brentford saying, no, it didn't. We do have goal line technology today, and that says it was on the line and not beyond it. Fabregas. And Loftus-Cheek, bringing the best out of Bentley. Goalkeeper with a rising reputation from his days at Southend. John Terry, it's been a stroll for him so far. Collin's header. It's Willian. He's off in search of an angle for himself. Having found one, he sent the final shot halfway to Hammersmith. But he's been very centrally involved today. Harley Dean. Brentford's last victory over Chelsea was in 1939. Here's Willian. Little chance of the Bees bridging that gap today, it seems. Loftus-Cheek with a chance, and he's unlucky. It's a super ball to give him the opportunity after a weaving, mazy run by Willian. Perfect release of the pass too. Sawyers. It's Woods. And Janeiro blocked away by Begovic, who may be making his final appearance for Chelsea. There's talk of a £12 million transfer to Bournemouth in the offing. Rare opportunity for the former Arsenal junior to score. Zuma. And Ivanovic. The baton taken up by Pedro. Two to his left, Ivanovic to his right. It is Ivanovic, and it's 3-0. Only been on the pitch for 5 minutes. It's just his second ever FA Cup goal. Ivanovic. Diego Costa. Ivanovic, tripped was he? Yes! Michael Oliver, the referee, points to the spot. And Ivanovic has had quite an attacking impact. It's Barbe, the French left wing-back, with the foul. Michy Batshuayi, rather short of goals this season, so this could be a confidence booster. His fifth of the campaign, he's now scored in both rounds for Chelsea. And the scoreline now is the same as it was the last time Brentford were here 4 years ago for a replay. The Premier League leaders are flying into round 5.
Pep Guardiola's Manchester City arrived at Selhurst Park in confident mood to face Crystal Palace, having beaten the Eagles in 11 of their previous 12 meetings in all competitions. And they came close to taking the lead when David Silva latched on to Yaya Touré's ball from deep, only to be denied by Wayne Hennessy. Willy Caballero replaced the under-fire Claudio Bravo in the Citizens' goal for the afternoon and proved his shot-stopping credentials when he saved well from James Tompkins as they went in search of a second successive clean sheet in the competition. It was City who made the breakthrough, making his full debut following a £27 million move from Palmeiras. Gabriel Jesus played in Raheem Sterling, who kept his composure to fire past Hennessy just before the break. City's past 4 FA Cup matches have produced 18 goals, scored at an average of 4.5 per game, and Jesus himself came close to adding a second, but Hennessy was on hand to deny the Brazilian, with Martin Kelly's ricochet dropping over the bar. Silva was outstanding throughout this tie, the Spaniard part of the side that lifted the trophy in 2011, and he picked out another fellow finalist in former Aston Villa midfielder Fabian Delph, but it was his turn to be denied by Hennessy. The weather was proving more of a threat to City than Palace, as heavy hail fell in South London and threatened to sour Guardiola's mood with a postponement, but as the storm passed, so did Palace's chances of progression, as the visitors doubled their advantage with 20 minutes remaining. Silva again involved, carrying the ball through the Palace midfield before picking out Leroy Sané with a wonderful pass for the German to finish off. City's erratic form in the Premier League has encouraged many to challenge them, but they were in control throughout here, and Yaya Touré sealed the win with a superb free kick. City safely into round 5 in front of 3,500 travelling fans.
Well, big day this for Lincoln. They need to start well. In from Goldson, it's a poor header from Waterfall, and Murray! Good scrambling save by Paul Farman. Murray nearly making something out of nothing here. He attacked this well. Touch there from the centre half. Waterfall picks out Robinson. Flags up. Well, he wags his finger, but I think he'd strayed too soon, Theo Robinson. Yeah, slightly over-eager. Here's Solly March. He's been quiet so far. They're standing off him, and March hits it! And Farman was beaten there.
Wonderful swerving strike as Murray flashes it well wide, but Solly March a whisker away. Did so well to get into the position and nearly made the most of it. Lovely bit of skill and a ferocious strike. There's Goldson. Murray with an intelligent header and towel. They made it look so simple. Brighton in front. Towell's first goal for the club. And what a time to get it. Murray made it. The header right into his stride. Still a good finish and an intelligent run as well. Corner for Lincoln, who need to bounce back here. Retrieved by Arnold. Oh, good strike, Arnold, and touch behind by Menepai. Norwood with the cross, and Murray! What a chance to make it two. And with his quality, would have expected him to score. Launched forward by Farman. A bit of contact there from Murray on Robinson. Penalty! Lincoln City have a penalty. Glenn Murray can't believe it. Well, Robinson has his arm up there. Murray. Well, it's silly. It's clumsy. Ankergren in goal, the substitute, and his first act is to pick it out of his net. Alan Power with the goal. Kept his cool after the long wait, after the injury to Menepai, and it's 1-1. Alan Power's big moment. Game on. Look a little shaken here. Here's Arnold, the danger man for Lincoln City. The teasing cross, and Tamori, the Chelsea youngster on loan, on debut, turns it into his own net, and Lincoln City have turned it round in 5 minutes. The option was there to turn it wide of the post, and he got it so wrong, the youngster. Big mistake. At least still have time to save themselves. In towards Murray! Locked away by Raggett. Crucial piece of defending there. Goal bound from Murray. Try and find a way back, but they've given it away. And it's rolled in now for Robinson! Surely the goal that takes Lincoln through! 3-1 to Lincoln!
Accrington Stanley's first fourth-round appearance in 7 years saw them travel to Premier League side Middlesbrough in hope of a famous upset. But the League Two strugglers were on the back foot from the off. Stuart Downing's curled ball found Victor Fisher in space, but with the goal beckoning, the former Ajax man couldn't find the target. It wasn't long before Fisher was causing more problems. Having collected the ball out wide, the Dane's positive run eventually saw his shot blocked before Downing tried his luck from range. The former England international was pulling the strings in the game's early exchanges, and following another driving run into the visitors' half, he slipped in Patrick Bamford, who should have at least tested Marek Rodak in the Accrington goal. The deadlock was finally broken in the 69th minute, and it was that man Downing again. There was nothing Rodak could do to stop the forward's superb effort. But Borough weren't content with a 1-0 lead and they pressed on for more. Grant Ledbetter fed Rudy Gestede next, but Rodada was off his line quickly to keep his team in the game. Stanley, who've only won one of their last 10 league games, offered little going forwards. Janoy Donassian's loop cross was headed back into danger by Harvey Rogers, but Sean McConville was his pullback found Billy Key next, but the striker's scuff shot didn't threaten Dimitrios Konstantopoulos in the host goal. The game's real chances still fell to Borough though. Adam Clayton's through ball put Adama Traore in on goal. Rodada was up to the task again, and then Christian Stuani really should have done better with the follow-up. While it remained 1-0, Accrington still had a chance to force a replay, and there was time for one last effort. Key's flick was hopeful. Jordan Clark connected well, but his shot was straight at Konstantopoulos. Middlesbrough comfortable as they booked their place in the 5th round.